Hey, Sarah Marrinan here, and I pulled in Tim Erickson from LeaderOne Financial because we wanted to talk to you about the headlines. Every headline right now is recession. And I don't think people understand what the definition of recession is and what that means for the housing market. And so we're going to clear it up for you. So first of all, the definition of a recession is just 2 consecutive quarters of the GDP slipping. Housing was not in that definition at all. So let's talk about the last recession we had. And Tim, tell us a little bit about the cause of the last recession.
Yeah, the big cause of obviously the 2008 recession, which was everybody remembers when they think recession as well, is the mortgage and housing crisis and meltdown. Right. They were basically kind of cooking the books, and so people could get approved for more of a house, and that ended up backfiring as houses value started to dip. And then they really dipped as people were just unloading their houses.
Well, because the condition of those houses weren't that great either. So people were overextended on the mortgage, had no money to keep up the houses, couldn't pay the taxes. There were so many problems going on. And we don't have that now.
Absolutely. A lot of safeguards in place for mortgages. If you went through a mortgage in the last 8-9 years,
it's kind of a pain in the butt.
You know it is. It's extensive. Everything, blood sample, everything is what we're getting, it seems like. So
okay, he's not really taking
bad,
your blood, but it feels like it to some people. So one of the things that kind of bothered me in some of this trigger of all these recession headlines is Realtor.com did a survey in August sometime. I remembered seeing it. The numbers that stuck out to me though was of the people they surveyed, 42% of them, I think you read it too, thought we were headed for a recession like right now. And the part that bothered me more was that 59% of those people thought it was going to be worse than 2008.
Yep, as bad or worse, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But that's the last thing they remember, I suppose.
Well, and there's a lot of younger people probably looking at these surveys than, older people who've lived through more recessions. Like I started thinking about that, like who did they survey anyway? People probably who only remember 08. Or it's just most recent in their mind. The other interesting part of the survey was they said, okay, so what do you think is going to trigger this recession? Now, they thought it was going to be worse than 08, which was caused by housing, but they didn't think housing was going to trigger the recession. They thought the number one trigger would be a trade war. Mm-hmm. They thought a stock correction or a political event, like those were going to be the things to trigger. Housing was like number 9 or something. Like it was way down on what people thought was going to trigger. So, Tim, tell me a little bit again about the current mortgage economy.
Yeah, great question. So mortgages the rates are at almost historic lows.
Again, like they were
nuts.
Before,
4 years ago. And so great time to buy from that standpoint.
And that's good for sellers because when rates are low, buyers can afford more.
Exactly. And also the move-up buyers, it's a huge thing to be able to, maybe you do have a little bit higher rate on that, and you can move up to another $100,000 to $200,000 place that's bigger, and your payment doesn't change that much because rates are that good.
Right. And it's great for people buying their last home because they're getting in at great rates for a last home right now. That stuff is pretty amazing. Like none of the signs say this is going to be a housing crash, right? Like that's kind of what we're getting at here. This is a recession by definition, yes. We're seeing it. Why do we need to see a recession right now? We need it because we've been in the longest economic recovery in history. The longest economic recovery in history is what we've been going through. So this is what a lot of people only know is this, right? So I guess my parting words are, if you look at the last 5 recessions that we've had, in 3 of them, not the last 3, because the last one was 2008, housing prices have increased during the recession because people pulled their money out of stocks and other investments and put them into housing. So this is not a housing recession that we're looking at here.
We are not. Yeah, I think they were thinking more like 2001 recession where the stocks went down about 25%. And I think housing increased about 3.5% or something like that. So still appreciation of homes, just like Sarah was saying, which is huge.
Right. And the good news is it's a stabilizing appreciation, right? We don't want a bubble. We like the stable takes a little bit longer to sell a house, but the prices are still good. There's sometimes a little less stress when people have more time, right? When they're not so pressured to run out on the first day, make an offer on the first day, do all that. So if you've got questions about maybe what you would qualify for, or, you know, if it's a good time for you to move up or get that last home, Tim would be happy. He even knows reverse mortgages. So Tim, how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah. My phone number 952-451-2273 or TimErickson at LeaderOne.com. Should all be in the comments as well.
Yeah, I'll put some comments here. And I mean, you know how to get a hold of me because I just sent you this. So questions, comments, please share this with your friends who have been, you know, telling you the sky is falling, the sky is falling. Say, hey, Chicken Little, watch this video.
Perfect.
All right, have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.